If you weren't getting paid enough wages, if you were living in slum-like conditions, and the health and safety at work put you in danger, would you do anything about it? When the status quo is not good enough, you're going to get some reactions. And so today, what we're going to be talking about is during the Industrial Revolution, there were some reactions to all of this industrialization, all of the wealth, and all of the negative things that came along to the workers. Welcome to Frickin' History, and if you want a 3, a 4, or a 5 on your AP exam, I'm the guy to see. Now, because workers didn't have a lot of rights in the factories, one of the responses that came back was the formation of the labor unions, which was starting to occur, for example, in the United States in the late 1800s. The example you want to use, Knights of Labor or the AFL, are two examples, those that can be used as evidence on your essay. What were they fighting for? Higher wages, better working conditions. Now, there was also intellectual reactions when it came to the Industrial Revolution as a whole. John Stuart Mill, he was a philosopher in the 1800s living in Great Britain. He also was a champion of labor unions during that time. He had a philosophy, and the term is utilitarianism, and that is what he was saying would cure some of the ills of the industrial society. But one of the biggest reactions during this time period was from Karl Marx. And one of the other things we have to talk about is Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a guy that found resistance in the idea of the industrialization because he saw the ills that it was causing on society. He really connected with Robert Owen in a way. Now remember, Robert Owen, his idea of socialism, which was, hey, let's have a better quality of life. Let's have shorter work days. Let's pay our people a little bit more. And everybody still can make a lot of money, but yet have a better quality of life. Now, Marx was taking that to a little bit further in the next level because he's like, the industrial capitalists are never going to make that change. And so the only way that change is going to happen is through revolution. What does that revolution look like? It's the working class in other words, the proletariat, the working class, overtaking the bourgeoisie or the owners and middle management and taking over that means of production. The reason why the proletariats were going to have to overthrow the bourgeoisie because the bourgeoisie were greedy by nature, and that was not going to change according to Marx. In other words, the proletariats or the working class, they were doing all the work making the products, yet did not share in the economic boom that was occurring. And so Marx really came to be known with his Communist Manifesto with his friend Frederick Engels, and talking about the idea of the overthrow of the proletariats over the bourgeoisie. Now you have to remember the timing because the Communist Manifesto was actually being written in the 1840s, and right around 1848 is when it was finished. That was the time of the revolutions that were happening in Europe, the revolutions of 1848. So it didn't really grab on at that time because there was way too much change that was happening. And eventually, what happens is the Communist Manifesto becomes the idea that's eventually going to help inspire the Russian Revolution. But we're not there yet. That's not until the late 19 teens after World War I. And now you know your freaking history. Peace.